Hello, everyone. I want to tell you something important today. Sometimes, when we feel tired, when we feel like we are not making progress, we feel like giving up. Maybe you are trying to learn English. Maybe you are working hard, but it still feels slow. You think, why am I not getting better? But let me tell you something. Many people give up just before they succeed. What if you are only one step away from winning? What if tomorrow is the day everything becomes easy, but you give up today? So, in this video, I want to share a story with you, a journey of not giving up. We will go step by step. Each chapter will help you understand why it's important to keep going, even when it's hard. So stay with me till the end. You never know. This video might be the one thing that helps you move forward. Chapter 1. The day you feel like quitting is the day you're growing the most. Have you ever felt like quitting? Maybe you've been learning English for a while, and even though you're working hard, it still feels tough. Maybe you've made mistakes, or things just don't seem to get better, no matter how much you practice. I've been there, and I know how frustrating it can be. But let me tell you something important. The days when you feel like giving up are often the days when you're growing the most. Think about it like this. When you go to the gym, your muscles hurt after a good workout, right? It feels uncomfortable, maybe even painful. But that's not a bad thing. The pain means your muscles are growing stronger. They are changing, getting better, even though it doesn't feel that way in the moment. Learning a new language is the same. It's hard, and sometimes it hurts. You feel stuck. But that's when your brain is working the hardest. It's making new connections, learning new words, and forming new skills. The struggle is a sign that you're growing, even when it doesn't feel like it. I want to share a story with you about a friend of mine. Let's call him Mark. Mark had been studying English for about 6 months. He listened to podcasts, watched videos, and read books. But after all that time, he didn't feel like he was improving much. He couldn't understand conversations as well as he wanted, and speaking felt really difficult. One day, Mark told me he was thinking of giving up. He thought, maybe English is just too hard for me. Maybe I'll never get it. But I told him, Mark, you're so close. You don't realize it, but this is the hardest part. After this, it will start to feel easier. He wasn't convinced at first, but something changed. He decided to keep going, even though it felt like he was getting nowhere. And do you know what happened? Just a few weeks later, everything started to click. He was able to understand conversations much better, and his speaking became smoother. What he didn't know at the time was that the struggle he was feeling was actually preparing him for that breakthrough. All that hard work was finally starting to pay off. So, if you're feeling like quitting today, I want you to remember this. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel stuck. But don't give up. Because when you feel like giving up, that's often when you're learning the most. Your brain is growing, your skills are developing, and your future self is getting closer to fluency, even if you can't see it right now. Keep going. Trust me, you're stronger than you think. Chapter 2. Success is often hiding behind one more try. Have you ever felt like you've tried something so many times but it still doesn't work? Maybe you've been trying to say a word in English, and no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't come out right. Maybe you've made mistakes over and over again, and you start to wonder, will I ever get it right? I want to tell you something that will help you. Success is often hiding behind just one more try. Let me give you an example. We all know Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, right? But what you might not know is that Edison failed over and over again before he finally succeeded. In fact, he made over 1,000 attempts before he created a working light bulb. Think about that for a moment. 1,000 tries. Can you imagine how many times he failed? But do you know what he said? He didn't see those failures as failures at all. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work. Isn't that inspiring? Instead of giving up, Edison kept going. He knew that success was hidden in each attempt. Every failure was just one step closer to success. And guess what? Your journey in learning English is the same. Think about how many times you've tried to pronounce a word only to mess it up. Maybe you said caterpillar like caterpillar, or tried to say schedule and ended up saying schedule. It can be frustrating, right? But guess what? You're not alone. Everyone makes mistakes, and that's okay. The key is to keep trying, because each time you try, you get closer to saying it correctly. I'll tell you a story about someone I know, a student named Anna. Anna was learning English, and she struggled with the word through. Every time she said it, it sounded like through or through. She felt embarrassed and thought she would never get it right. But instead of quitting, Anna decided to keep practicing. She said the word over and over, trying to focus on how her tongue moved, listening to how native speakers said it. One day, after weeks of practice, Anna was talking to a friend, and without thinking, she said the word through correctly. She smiled and thought, wow, I finally did it. That moment was the result of all her small efforts, all her tries that didn't seem to work at the time. So, what's the lesson here? Success in learning English is often just one more try away. If you keep practicing, keep saying the words, keep listening, keep speaking, you will get better. It might feel slow, but every little step you take is progress. Remember, Thomas Edison didn't stop after 10 tries or 100 tries. He kept going until he found success. You can do the same. When you make a mistake, don't worry. It's just another try, and with each try, you're getting closer to success. So don't stop trying. You never know. Your breakthrough might just be one attempt away. Chapter 3. The slowest learners often become the strongest speakers. When it comes to learning something new, especially a language like English, we often feel pressured to be fast. We see others who seem to learn quickly and feel like we're falling behind. Maybe you look at someone speaking English fluently and think, why can't I do that? Why am I so slow? But I want to tell you something that might surprise you. Going slow is not a bad thing. In fact, the slowest learners often become the strongest speakers. Let me explain. We live in a world where everything seems to be about speed. We want things fast. Fast food, fast internet, fast results. But when it comes to learning, especially learning a language, speed doesn't always mean success. Sometimes, taking your time helps you understand things more deeply, and that makes you stronger in the long run. I remember a student of mine, let's call him David. David came to me 2 years ago feeling frustrated. He had been trying to speak English for a while, but he wasn't confident. He would often shy away from conversations because he thought he might make a mistake. He felt like he was moving too slowly compared to others. But David didn't give up. He kept practicing one step at a time. For the first year, he mostly focused on understanding the language. He listened to podcasts, watched movies, and read books. He wasn't speaking much, and sometimes he felt like he wasn't progressing fast enough. But instead of rushing through, he took his time to really understand how English worked, its grammar, its patterns, its vocabulary. He was building a strong foundation. It wasn't until the second year that he felt confident enough to speak more. And guess what? When he did start speaking, he spoke with much more clarity and confidence than many others who had been practicing for the same amount of time but were rushing through. He had spent time absorbing everything, and now he was able to speak fluently and confidently. Today, David speaks English like a pro, and it all started with going slow. He wasn't in a race. He was building something strong, something that would last. So, if you feel like you're moving slowly, don't worry. That doesn't mean you're not smart or not capable. It means you are building a strong foundation for yourself. The slower you go, the more you learn, and the more you understand. In the end, this will make you a much stronger speaker. Learning English is not a race. If you are slow, it doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are taking the time to really understand the language. Every time you take it slow, you're building confidence. Every mistake you make teaches you something. So, don't rush. Celebrate each small step you take. The slowest learners often become the strongest speakers because they understand the language deeply. Remember, just like building a house, you need a strong foundation before you add the walls. So take your time. Be patient with yourself. The more you understand, the stronger you will become. And before you know it, you'll be speaking English confidently, just like David did. Chapter 4. Your breakthrough might come when you least expect it. Have you ever had a moment when you studied something over and over, and no matter how hard you tried, it just didn't make sense? You're putting in the effort, but it feels like nothing is changing. It's like you're pushing a heavy door, but it's not opening. It can be frustrating, right? But let me tell you this. Your breakthrough might come when you least expect it. I've had moments like that too, especially when I was learning English. One word in particular was giving me a lot of trouble, the word encourage. I would hear it everywhere, in movies, in conversations, in books. But no matter how many times I heard it, I couldn't remember what it meant or how to use it correctly. I would look it up in the dictionary, practice saying it, but it just didn't stick. It felt like I would never truly understand this word. I heard it at least 20 times, but each time it still felt unclear. Then, one day, something changed. I was listening to a podcast, and once again I heard the word encourage. But this time, as soon as I heard it, it clicked. The meaning, the pronunciation, everything came together. It was like I had a small moment of clarity. Suddenly, the word made sense, and I could use it in sentences without hesitation. It wasn't that I hadn't heard it before, but all of a sudden, everything I had learned and practiced over time finally fell into place. I was so surprised. It was like the effort of all those times I tried and didn't succeed had finally built up to that moment. It wasn't one big leap, it was a series of small steps that led to my breakthrough. And that's exactly how learning works. The truth is, you never know when your breakthrough is coming. It might feel like you're stuck in one place, like you're studying hard but nothing is improving. But trust me, your effort is not wasted. Even when you don't see progress, all the little things you're doing, listening, reading, practicing, are adding up. Every time you hear a new word or make a mistake, it's a step closer to understanding it completely. So, the next time you feel like giving up, remember my story. Don't quit just because things aren't clicking right now. Your breakthrough might be right around the corner. It could come tomorrow or the day after that. But if you give up now, you'll never get to experience that aha moment when everything makes sense. Sometimes the hardest part of learning is trusting the process and believing that every little bit of effort you put in is helping you grow. Learning English, like anything else, takes time. The small steps are what lead to big change. So, keep going. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep trying. Your breakthrough will come, and when it does, it will be worth all the effort. Chapter 5. Every step forward is still a step sometimes. When we're learning something new, especially a language like English, we feel like we should be moving faster. We look around and see others who seem to be improving quickly, and we start to feel like we're not doing enough. We think, why am I not getting better? Why am I still stuck on the same level? But here's the truth. Every step forward is still a step. It doesn't matter if your progress feels small. What matters is that you're moving forward, no matter how tiny the step. Learning a new language is like walking up a staircase, and sometimes those steps are so small you can barely notice them. But every step takes you closer to your goal, and that's what matters. I want to talk about the importance of celebrating small wins. A small win could be anything: learning one new word, understanding a sentence you couldn't before, or watching an English video and understanding a little more of what's being said. Each of these small wins is a victory. In fact, they are probably more important than the big wins, because they show that you're making progress, even if it feels slow. Let me give you an example. I had a student named Maria who came to me feeling frustrated. She said, "I've been learning English for months, and I still can't speak like the people in the movies. I feel like I'm not improving." But when we took a moment to look at her progress, we saw something amazing. Maria had learned hundreds of new words. She could understand almost all the lessons we did, and her confidence was growing every day, even though it didn't always feel like it to her. What seemed like small steps to her were actually big achievements. The key is to track those small wins. When you notice yourself learning a new word or understanding a sentence better than before, celebrate it. Write it down in a journal, tell a friend about it, or just smile to yourself and feel proud. Those little moments add up, and eventually, you will look back and realize just how far you've come. Small wins also help keep you motivated. When you're only focused on the big goals, like speaking perfectly or understanding every single word, you can feel overwhelmed. But when you celebrate the small wins, you start to enjoy the journey more. Each time you hit a small milestone, it reminds you that progress is happening. And when progress happens, your motivation grows. For example, imagine you've been trying to remember the word beautiful. You try again and again, but it doesn't stick. Then one day, you hear someone say, beautiful, and you finally understand the word's meaning in context. You get it. That's a small win. And even though it seems small, it shows that your brain is making connections. You're learning and growing. And that's the key. Every step counts. Whether you're learning 5 new words a week or understanding a sentence that once confused you, those are steps forward. It's easy to get discouraged when you compare your progress to others. But remember, everyone learns at their own pace. You might be moving slower than someone else, but you are still moving forward, and that's what matters. So, next time you feel like you're not making enough progress, take a moment to look at how far you've come. Celebrate the small wins. You've learned something new today, and that is a step forward. And before you know it, those small steps will lead to big progress. Chapter 6. You are not alone. Everyone struggles. When you're learning something new, especially a language, it's easy to feel like you're the only one who's struggling. It's easy to think, why am I having such a hard time? Why does this seem so difficult for me, but it's so easy for others? It might feel like everyone else is breezing through while you're stuck in the same place. But I want to tell you something important. You are not alone. Every learner struggles. Everyone, even the most experienced people, even those who speak English as their first language, faces challenges. Let me share something with you. Did you know that even native English speakers sometimes struggle with language? Yes, that's right. They have difficulty with words, spelling, grammar, and even pronunciation. If a native speaker can struggle with their own language, it's perfectly normal for you to struggle with English as a second language. For example, I have a friend who grew up speaking English, but when she moved to a different country, she struggled to understand the local accent and slang. Even though she spoke English every day, it was difficult to understand some of the things people were saying. She felt frustrated, but she didn't give up. She kept trying, listening, and learning. Over time, she got better, and that struggle made her more confident. The point is, struggling is a part of learning. It's not a sign that you're not good enough or that you're not making progress. Struggling means you're challenging yourself, and that's how growth happens. It's completely okay to have difficult moments. Even though it might feel uncomfortable or discouraging, remember, everyone goes through it. What helps during these times is community. Learning doesn't have to be a lonely journey. There are people just like you, struggling with the same things and facing similar challenges. Talking to others can help you feel better and remind you that you're not alone. You can share your frustrations, your questions, and your successes with others who understand. Community gives you strength. I encourage you to find a group or community of people who are learning English, whether in person or online. There are many forums, social media groups, and language learning apps where people share their stories, tips, and struggles. When I was learning English, I was part of a small group where we practiced speaking together. We would share our mistakes and help each other. Knowing that others were facing the same difficulties made me feel less isolated. And every time one of us made progress, we celebrated together. That support kept us motivated and helped us move forward. You don't have to go through this alone. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or a fellow learner online, having someone to talk to can make a huge difference. It's important to share your story with others, because you might find that your struggles are much more common than you think. And hearing how others overcome similar challenges can inspire you to keep going. Remember, struggling does not mean failure. It means you are on the path to success. Embrace the struggle and don't be afraid to reach out to others. The more you talk about your experiences, the stronger you will feel and the better you will get. Chapter 7. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Motivation is powerful. It's that feeling of excitement and energy that makes you want to start something new, like learning English. Maybe you watch a video, read a book, or hear an inspiring story, and you feel ready to tackle everything at once. You think, yes, I'm going to learn English. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, you feel really motivated. But here's the truth. Motivation doesn't last forever. It comes and goes. Some days you'll wake up feeling excited to study. Other days you might feel tired, discouraged, or simply not in the mood. That's okay. Everyone goes through this. But what truly makes the difference in your learning is discipline. Discipline is the ability to keep going even when motivation is low. It's the habit of showing up every day, even if you don't feel like it. It's about committing to learning even when it's hard or you don't see immediate results. Discipline is what helps you keep moving forward, step by step, when motivation fades. Let me tell you a story from my own experience. When I was learning English, I didn't feel motivated every day. Some days I was exhausted from work or school. Some days I was frustrated because it felt like I wasn't improving fast enough. But there was one thing I did every day, no matter how I felt. I studied. I listened to English, read something in English, or wrote in my notebook, even if it was just for a few minutes. And you know what? Those were the days that helped me the most. The days when I didn't feel like studying were actually the ones that built my discipline. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Over time, those small, consistent actions added up. Even when motivation wasn't there, discipline kept me going, and eventually, my English skills improved. You might not feel motivated to study every day, and that's perfectly normal. But discipline means that even on those days, you still take action. Maybe you don't study for an hour, but you can study for 10 minutes. Maybe you don't read a whole book, but you can read one page. The key is consistency. Building discipline takes time. It's not about doing everything perfectly every day. It's about showing up and doing something, even if it's small. Over time, these small actions will become habits, and those habits will lead you to success. One trick I used to help build my discipline was to set a specific time each day to study. It wasn't always a long session, but having a set time helped me stick with it. I didn't have to think about it or wait for motivation to strike. I just knew it was time to study, so I did it. Also, don't be too hard on yourself when motivation is low. The important thing is not to give up completely. Remember, discipline is about consistency. It's about doing something every day, no matter how small, to keep moving forward. And over time, you'll start to see the results. So, don't wait for motivation to strike. Build your discipline. Even on the days when you don't feel like it, do something, just a little bit. And those small steps will add up to big progress in the long run. Chapter 8. Visualize your success. See it before it happens. Visualization is a powerful tool that many successful people use. In this chapter, we're going to talk about how imagining your success can actually help you achieve it. When you visualize your goals, you start to feel more confident and motivated to reach them. And the best part? This technique works for learning English too. Imagine this. You're speaking fluent English. You're having a conversation with a friend, confidently using new words and phrases you've learned. You're traveling to an English-speaking country, and you can easily understand people and communicate your thoughts. Or maybe you're in a job interview, and your English skills impress the employer. Whatever your dream is, whether it's speaking English for travel, work, or even to help others, it's possible to get there, and visualization can help you make that vision a reality. Let's do a simple exercise together right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself speaking English. Visualize it clearly in your mind. See yourself having a conversation, whether it's with a friend, a colleague, or a stranger. Hear the words coming out of your mouth. Feel the confidence in your voice. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel when you realize that you are able to understand everything people are saying to you. Now, I want you to imagine the opportunities that will open up for you. Picture yourself traveling to new places, meeting people from different cultures, and effortlessly speaking in English with them. Imagine applying for your dream job and acing the interview because of your English skills. See how much your life will change when you can speak English confidently. Doesn't that feel amazing? Visualization allows you to tap into the emotions and sense of achievement that come with reaching your goals. When you see yourself succeeding, you start to believe it's possible. And when you believe it's possible, you're much more likely to take action to make it happen. This technique works because your brain doesn't always know the difference between real experiences and imagined ones. When you visualize success, your brain starts to make connections that bring you closer to your goal. It prepares you for what you need to do to reach that success. But it's not just about imagining the future. Visualization helps you stay focused on your goals even when things get tough. There will be times when you feel frustrated or like giving up. But if you can take a moment to remind yourself of that vision, your dream of speaking fluent English, it can reignite your motivation. Every time you feel like you're not making progress or you're stuck, Close your eyes for a moment and visualize yourself reaching your goal. Picture the moment when everything clicks, when you can speak English easily and confidently. See it clearly in your mind. Feel the joy of achieving it, and know that every step you take brings you closer to it. Visualization is a great way to stay motivated and remind yourself why you're learning English in the first place. It makes the process feel real and achievable. So, take some time each day to visualize your success. See yourself speaking English fluently, achieving your goals, and living the life you want. The more you visualize it, the more likely it is to come true. Chapter 9. Don't quit. The world needs your voice. We've come to the final chapter, and I want to remind you of something very important. Your voice matters. Your story matters. The effort you're putting into learning English matters. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, your journey is worth it. And you never know just how close you are to making a difference, both for yourself and for someone else. You might be feeling frustrated, thinking that your English is not good enough. You might feel like you're not making progress fast enough, or you might be comparing yourself to others who seem to learn faster. But let me tell you something. Your voice is powerful, and the world needs to hear it. Imagine this. The words you're learning today could be the ones that inspire someone tomorrow. The conversations you're practicing now could connect you with a new friend, a mentor, or even a job opportunity. What if the next time you speak English, it opens up a door that changes your life? You never know how close you are to that breakthrough, that moment when everything falls into place. And it's not just about you. Maybe your journey will inspire others who are struggling just like you. Every time you push through a difficult moment, every time you keep going even when you feel like quitting, you're showing someone else that they can do the same. You're setting an example. Your journey matters not only for you, but also for the people who are watching and learning from you. Don't forget that the world needs your voice. It doesn't matter if your English isn't perfect yet. Your words, your ideas, your story are valuable. You have something to say, and it's important that you share it. Whether you're speaking to a friend, a teacher, or a stranger, your words have the power to connect, to teach, to help, and to inspire. It's easy to think that progress should happen quickly or that learning should be smooth. But learning a language, especially English, is a journey, and sometimes that journey takes time. The key is to keep going. Even on the days when it feels like you're not improving, you are. Every day you practice, every word you learn, and every sentence you speak is progress. The world is waiting for your voice, for the wisdom and experiences you have to share. So don't give up now. Keep speaking, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. You're closer than you think to reaching your goal. And the world? It's waiting for you to step forward and speak up. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember this. Your voice is needed, and the world is ready to hear what you have to say. Don't stop now. Keep going. You are making progress, even if it doesn't always feel like it. You are moving closer to your goal, one step at a time. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end. I hope this video helped you feel stronger and more motivated. Remember, never give up. Your success might be just one step away. If this video gave you hope and inspired you, please give it a like. If you want more stories and simple lessons like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And in the comments, tell me, what is one thing you are not giving up on? I would love to read your story and support you. See you in the next video.